start to mention what you're looking for, however you phrase it, use positive words. One of the things that happens is avoid using, we all have what we're not looking for. Avoid using those phrases. It's the funniest thing because people, it's like, when I say be positive, it's not that there's like, that's not that everyone doesn't actually say that at all the dating sites. Next week, it's like bring things in, I will actually give more examples of, here's what people said that's not positive, change it to this. So sometimes, okay, around here, I get this from the guys. I don't want a gold digger. I don't want, kind of what they were meaning was both like, housewives of, Real Housewives of Orange County. At the same time, they were also meaning that, and it was kind of part of his demographic. He was also meaning that he didn't want a woman who Jess was expecting to be exclusively a stay-at-home wife and mother. I think he was thinking maybe that always meant that she was kind of pampered or something like that too, although, there's a lot of work in that. It was just really what he wanted was a woman who enjoyed family, and family was important, and who had a career. But for him, that was his mental shorthand, not a gold digger. Well, if you put that in your profile, the women who have careers will be turned off by it as well. And so that's one of the things about quite often that whatever you is like what you don't want. I don't want a guy who's like, I don't want a guy who, is unemployed. I don't want this. Well, maybe he's contracting right now and he feels like he's unemployed. Even if he's working right now, but he may feel like it's tenuous, and then he's like, I can't answer, I can't respond to that. I won't be good enough or something like that. Avoid saying too much about what you don't want, even if it's in the back of your head. It's generally better to talk in a positive way about what you want. The other thing about that as a hypnotherapist in the unconscious mind is the unconscious mind in our creativity never sees the word not. It's like when you tell young children, don't touch that stove. Because you just actually directed them to touch the stove, because their brain does not even, they don't know how to picture not. So the more we talk about what we don't want, the more we attract it. It's why it's like, because I'll hear from women, they're like, I'm always attracting jerks, or something like that, and I'm like, well, what are you saying? What do you put in your profile? What are you doing this? And I'm like, change it. It's like, this is why, because if that's what when you're driving, I don't want to go left. I don't want to go left. It's like wherever you're looking is where you're turning. It's where you're turning your wheel. It's the direction you're going. So it's as much as possible, think about, imagine, picture what you want. And what you want in a relationship. And this typically is something where, as I have exercises that I have clients do, it's more like kind of like ongoing workshop sort of stuff I do in my office, is imagine, what would it typically, there's Super Bowl Sunday, and that's like a fun one to imagine. Also imagine, what would be like a regular weekend? What would be maybe like a road trip or like a little bit of an adventure weekend that I want to share with a partner? What would we be doing? When I lived in Northern California, probably we used to say once a month, it ended up being probably like once a quarter. Gotta drive to, gotta do wine country. Something like that. And it's nothing to get drunk, because they're all doing you're like doing these little sips like over the course of the day, or you do like the wine train or something like that. But it was like trying something new. It was kind of also get out of the city, because wine country is just beautiful. So it was kind of like, have a little wine, get out of the city was important. My brother and his wife, early on, they loved going to some of the salsa conventions, which were here, LA and Las Vegas. Once you're married, and you're into marriage for a couple of years, you might not be doing that, but it's like, start to imagine a couple of those kind of scenarios. It's a typical weeknight. because I hear this from single clients, it's so cute. They're like, well, reality is, right now, it's like I go to the gym every night, or I go home and kind of like sit on the couch, and they don't want to be sitting on the couch, every night. And that's one of the points that they make. They're like, well, if I'm with someone, we'd go out, we would go dancing, we might go country western dancing, two-stepping or something like that. One of the things about dating is you start with what you think you want. And it's not that you're wrong. It's like I was saying earlier, like the women, they say what they want and it's not what they want. Is what we say that we want at the beginning is often not exactly what we really do want eventually. And it's typically through the course of dating and conversing with people that we learn to refine the picture as well as the words about what we want. And we start to see a little more of the reality of, I can't go mountaineering every weekend, that would never work out. It's like that guy, he may really love doing that, and God bless him, that's great. I would never be living that lifestyle. We can be friends.